even before everybody comes in, I want to ask you, how many of you have experienced an international rally event, like the World or European Rally Championship? Ever been to a rally event? Watch cars go by? One? New Zealand Rally? Anybody else?
Illegal don't count, right? Illegal night races don't count.
Wow. Of course they do. Of course they do. Click on rally for me. So since you haven't experienced it, I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring the experience to you.
Ouais, mais tu peux continuer tout droit comme ça? Ok, comme tu veux. Et puis on va au-dessus de la rivière et puis on va à gauche vers
I really would bring it to you.
Okay, le Podium. Parfait.
Yep.
Switching on the camera now.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Just play.
Ouais, mais tu peux continuer tout droit comme ça? Ok, comme tu veux. Et puis on va au-dessus de la rivière et puis on va à gauche vers le City Center. Ok, ça va. Et le Podium. Parfait. Switching on the camera now.
Building up.
Encore une.
Estonia, that's where I'm from. And this was an introduction of the rally experience in Estonia, the Rally Estonia 2015. I wanted to spend those 2 minutes to give you a full look and for you to understand what kind of event I'm going to talk about. So this is a case of a company who we provided very relevant data for. We are a mobile location data company in Estonia, and this is a good case because they're a gorgeous client, very thankful for our insights. So let's see what they need. So if you saw those pictures, you got a lot of people on the side of the road, visitors to the event, and the problem is that the event organizers, they have no idea who these people are. The thing is, the event takes place on public roads, in cities. It's a rally event. It's held in speed stages, 16 stages in different locations, over 205 kilometers of range. So if you think that you can gather visitor statistics with surveys, think again, because the geographical distances are too huge for that. So without data, Rally Estonia felt stuck, so that's how they turned to us. What they needed visitor statistics for is to provide sponsors information about how many people are actually attending the event in order to assess the impact of that sponsorship, convince advertisers how many eyeballs are they attracting to the event, and target their own marketing promotion. So what mobile location data provided for them is to track all visitors to this event over all the stages and events in the rally, and produce detailed data and indicators. For instance, this is a map of the origin of all visitors from Estonia to the rally event. Numbers, where they came from, which cities, which counties. The same can be produced for international visitors. So in the end, what you get is a very clear picture of your visiting population. You know that this person is from Germany, this person is from France, this guy is from Tartu, Estonia, and this guy is from Tallinn, Estonia. And you know what kind of separate events they visited through these 3 days that the event was held, because we have continuous longitudinal data. And you also know that this guy from Tallinn has been here before. He visited this event 2 years ago as well. And we know that because we have data over spanning over many years. So it's easy to create this kind of longitudinal statistics about repeat visitors. So takeoff. Why we think it's a good case is that they're so thankful, and they really found a way to convince their sponsors to increase sponsorship year over year. Advertisers to increase the advertising budget. They even use this data to plan their security personnel on the side of the roads based on how many people are there. So you have to increase the personnel dependent on the number of people visiting. And maybe one of the most important things is they can show the government of Estonia the economic impact that this event has had attracting visitors. So all good stuff, and it didn't even cost them that much. So that was one case. Of course, there are other cases like this. So I want to tell you a bit about the methods that we use. You might find yourself questioning what is mobile location data that he's talking about. So what I'm talking about is passive data collected by the operator, then extracted by us. And we are mostly concerned with location data out of it, not personally identifiable information. So what we end up is, from all the network activity and the operator's databases, we end up with data in our servers, which is line by line, location by location of people's usage of their mobile phone. Yes? And it can be, for instance, shown like this. This is 1 hour's worth of data in Estonia mapped on the map of Estonia. So the light blue areas are where people actually live and use their mobile phones. The black areas are forest and marshlands. So you actually, just from an hour, you get a complete picture of the population density in different areas of Estonia. And this hour of data is actually 1 million lines of locations that we gathered. And since we have data for 10 years now, you can just do the calculation yourself how much data that makes. If anybody wants to make a quick guess, they're free to. Anybody? I guess more qualitative research here. Anyway, it's quite a lot. We're talking about hundreds of billions of lines of data, so that's quite a lot of terabytes there. So I've narrowed the benefits of location data down to 3 things. One thing is that it tells you data or the movements about all people everywhere. But it also has quite a bit of local accuracy. So you can make statistics for separate events, for example. It's data on everyone. So also the visitors who are coming in to just enjoy one event, or they're playing tourists. So those the visitors are usually the hardest group to get with surveys. And in mobile location data, it's inherently in there because as you roam in another country's network, that operator also collects the data about the roaming subscribers. And I told you 10 years. We have 10 years of continuous historical data, so we can tell you about what happened with people's movements during the booms and busts that we've gone through. So that was the rally case was one, but you can do a lot with just location data if you amass this kind of data and segment it according to whatever needs you might have. So just another example. So you're looking at Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, and let's say you want to segment people based on where they live. So just take people who live in the northeast that work in the center of the city, that use those 2 routes to travel to work every day, and on Friday and Saturday nights, or Fridays and Saturdays, they shop in this area where you have a big shopping center. And and there you go. You have the numbers of people that match that description and the patterns they have, for instance, visiting some area or another. Very useful for shopping centers. So different application areas. There's so many that I didn't want to just put a list of 20 different application areas on the slide, so I'll just give you 2 examples. One is geomarketing, determining the catchment areas of your stores and your competitor stores, if you want to compare that, and most stores do. That's one, definitely. The second is this work we did for the city of Tallinn. It's basically a mobility study. So a mobility study is where you determine the major movement paths of people in a city, and you have the numbers of people going from one district to another to work or to go to school, and you have that mapped out for the entire city. And this would be extremely difficult to do with the surveys, although they do it. So what we also found is that in doing this Tallinn mobility study is that surveys are still useful, don't get me wrong, that you have to reach the last mile as well in terms of the motivation for travel, what kind of means they use, would they like to use electric vehicles, and other questions that are pertinent. So you want to get quantitative data, which is easy to get from mobile data, and then compare that or use surveys to augment that in a qualitative sense. So this mixed mode works really well, but you don't really have to cash out. You don't have to spend $500,000 to do a mobility study in Tallinn, where you can do the same for a fraction of the cost, because the data, it's already there. So I encourage you to email me with any questions, but I also, of course, take questions here. It's just that I have a plane in just a short while, so I won't stick around after this session. Sorry.